The scenario I want to walk you through today, what we saw last time was me super excited about Formula One starting the season, building a bunch of model. It's a scenario that I think happens pretty regularly within our spaces working with data, which is our source data keeps changing. So we have new table getting added and potentially new sources being added. And that's usually a problem because we need to go and update these sources to the YAML. So what I'm going to do today for the very first thing is how can we be using DinoAI to pass explicit context. I know that my data engineer has loaded a bunch of new tables in my Formula One schema. So I want to go now and just open DinoAI. I can see I'm in code mode. Just going to paste my prompt. Say, hey, I've added a bunch of new sources in here. Can you update my file? Now, what I'm able to do with the new release that we're launching, I'm able to pass explicit context within my DinoAI chat. So I have a few options here. We'll talk a couple of them during the call. But the first thing, I want to add a file. So here I can go and just search for my F1 sources. I'll press enter. And effectively what I'm doing now is I'm explicitly telling our DinoAI agent to update this specific file for me. And DinoAI is able now to go to the warehouse, look for the schema in the database for my Formula One data in here. And on the back of that, it's going to go and find what are the tables that are new, which are not available in my DBT project. Right away, come up, then I have lap times, pit stop, qualifying, and sprint results. Those are new table, which were not available to me before now to do my data modeling. And with the additional context I provided and the capability that we have with the DinoAI agent, now what we're doing is we are calling your Snowflake database or my Snowflake database in this case. I'm getting the agent to query information schema and metadata about my tables so that it can effectively update my source to YAML. So this is something that happens so regularly in any type of workflow. We are constantly keeping updating those sources to YAML. Extremely powerful to save us time in not having to second guess what's new and make sure that we have a very seamless experience when we have to work with data. So in a few seconds more, it's going to go ahead and just update our file for us. So again, I can click on accept. And as you can see, I have still my existing sources than was there before. So this is very powerful because probably in our sources, we're going to maybe be adding tests, adding descriptions. We don't want to regenerate the old file. We don't want to lose that information. And if we can scroll down, we can see that a bunch of new tables have been added to my sources based on what was new into my database. So that's feature one. How can we use the new adding context feature in Paradime to update, for example, our sources.yml?
Just a quick question. If you were to have to do this by hand, how much time would this have taken you? Because here it took less than maybe 10 seconds.
Totally. I think this will be at least a half an hour job to go and find what are the columns, what are the tables that I have new, find the diff, make sure that I'm not creating a new sources.yml or a duplicated entry, then the DBT will complain, which means then I have to test a bunch of things as well. So a massive increase in speed of development for those really not fun tasks, and I think no analytics engineer should be spending time on. What we want to get to is how can we build business logic, how we can solve real problems.
Cool. 10 minutes, half an hour versus 10 seconds. So, Parker, that's where my 99% rote work removal comes from.